Hello everyone, welcome back to the Functional Spirituality Podcast. My name is Ava, I'm your host, and the episode today is for anyone who is looking to take their practice a little bit deeper. So if you're looking for some support for your yoga, meditation, spirituality, and healing practice, then I have a special offer for you. So you may have heard about the Functional Spirituality Retreat, which is an online program that I created back in 2020, when I had to cancel all my in-person retreats. And I wanted a way to support people back home. And actually, this is something that I've wanted for years because Silent Retreat is not at home. It's an intensive, immersive experience where you're removed from your daily life and you're plunged into spiritual practice, philosophy, the mind work, the belief changing work of listening to discourse and teachings, doing yoga for hours and hours, meditation for hours and hours every day, being immersed in nature and in this kind of alternate environment. And I've always yearned for a way to support people back home. So that's what the Functional Spirituality Retreat is born of. But I have just recently upgraded the entire program. So we now have it on an online platform, and it's been organized to present the teachings of functional spirituality. So deconditioning, cultivating, and awakening, all the topics, all the tools, every teaching that's presented on Silent Retreat, presented in like a step-by-step format in this online platform. And I just couldn't be happier with the layout of this. It's something I've kind of wanted to do for a long time, but a few months ago, I just kind of got this urge, like, this is what I want to do. I'm going to record every single topic from retreat and present it, in this really special way so it's easy to digest. Now, when you put an offering out into the world, it can be a little bit, scary, unsettling. Is this worth it? Is this a good program? And for me, what's really kind of important for me, the question that really plays on my mind is that, is this the best use of someone's time, energy, money, attention? Because our motivation is limited. And every time we use our motivation on something that doesn't feed back into our motivation, it can have a hindering effect. It slows down our spiritual practice. It's so important that whatever we're applying our motivation tokens into, our energy into, our time and money into, that it kind of feeds back and increases our motivation or maintains it at least so that it doesn't dwindle away, like our bank of motivation. We need to invest that energy. And the best way to keep motivation, the way to build and maintain it is results. It's insight, it's transformation, it's aha moments, it's a feeling of connection, a feeling of hopefulness that we've touched something that is going to work for us and is changing things and is inspiring. That's what keeps motivation going. So as I started to put the finishing touches on this, and the curriculum will continue, the library of trainings will always grow, because this work is always emerging and evolving because the environment and context that we work in is emerging and evolving. But as I start to present this out to the public, which is going to be coming very soon, I had to contemplate, is this worth it? Is this going to build motivation? Is it going to sustain motivation? Because I'm like super allergic and anxious. If something that I was to present and offer and sell out to the marketplace is not going to do that. For me, that's one of the biggest fears that I have. Is that something that I offer, my ego's invested in it. My whole body of work, my personality is invested in this work. So my biggest fear is that it's not up to scratch with that standard that I have and that value that I have, that it's an investment that's really valuable. I wanted to share with you from kind of my personal journaling about what came up when I contemplated the value of this program. So the first thing that came up for me was that these 3-part method teachings, so breaking down the spiritual practice into the 3-part method of functional spirituality, it fully supports seekers to do whatever they want to do. And I think that's really meaningful, really functional, is that it's not trying to force people into a particular outcome, a particular practice. It really offers the menu of outcomes and desires that we might have, whether they're healing or cultivating or awakening, and presents them so that you can really select what's meaningful for you and be fully supported in that with teachings that are relevant to that particular track. The next thing I wrote down was that I have heaps of experience. So I've got a lot of history of spiritual practices, have studied so much in each of these methods. Anyone who's been on retreat with me can attest to that. How much experience and knowledge that I've kind of accumulated. But what's also really special is how much intelligence and discernment that I bring. Obviously it's my own journaling entry, so I'm not being modest, I'm being kind of direct with it, but really bringing an intelligence to this information, having sifted and trialed and then formulated each of these tools is such a fast track and such a clear path. So the main benefit from this is that then spiritual practice doesn't have to be a struggle. And for me, spiritual practice was a struggle. I mean, for a long time, I was kind of just like indoctrinated and flowed with it. But then when I realized that I wasn't getting the results I wanted, spiritual practice started to be more of a struggle. The disappointment was hard. The lack of results was hard. Yeah, just like picking myself up again and again to try to kind of engage back with the practice. That was such a struggle. And, with all of this kind of discernment and intelligence, trialing and then reformulating each of these tools, this fast track is, one of the biggest benefits and the outcomes I'm most happy and proud about is that it should make sure your practice is not a struggle. It's so that it flows much more easily. And with this material of the functional spirituality retreat, the 3-part method being broken down into these topics, people can go so much deeper and really have everything they need to be my star students. That's one of the kind of ideas that I had. My star students are ones that their practice is effortless. They've established a spiritual practice they love. They fully understand and can discern amongst the different tools. They have their tools that work. They're on an upward spiral of healing. They're just these shining, incredible lights and beings in their communities that everyone has their heart so open to because their heart is so open to everyone else. They're just like these harmonious, balanced, beautiful beings. So that was one of the things that, reminded me, yep, this program has value. It's a fast track. It's all of this intelligence and discernment and experience and wisdom that really isn't found anywhere else, nowhere else on the internet. It's all being presented here for people to become my star students. And as the program grows, there's just this supportive community that develops. I know my support is fully there. I'm totally available to offer support and mentoring. So it really has the ingredients that I think are necessary to get results. And if we can get results, then we can keep motivation. If we can keep motivation, then I believe that it's value well invested. So with this being said, the result is that I feel really excited about the reinvigoration of this program, an opportunity for people to have a self-paced, immersive experience with me online, able to attend anywhere and to, again, have it self-paced so people can ebb and flow. There might be a few months of being really, really engaged, watching everything, practicing things, and then sometimes there's a pause. I actually just came back from silent retreat myself, and we had a pause. We paused over winter. So our last retreat before this was in May. So May till October, huge break. And over the winter, I was super engaged, like re-engaged really strongly in my awakening practice and my awakening tools, which I haven't for many years really. So fully re-engaged with my kind of tantric practice and the non-dual practices that I love from that tradition. and then just feeling those benefits on retreat and, just seeing how deep that practice has gone. But that's because we don't just stay full power in our tools all the time. There's cycles and seasons for each of our practices, for each of our experiences. So having a self-paced program really allows for that actual development, cyclical development of our spiritual practice, which is what we need for it to be sustainable. So in a few weeks' time, we're going to release this program to the public. Before that, we're going to release it to our waitlist. So we've already got a waitlist building for this new release. And those that are on the waitlist will hear about the details first and also get a discount to the program, which will be available for a limited time and only for those on the waitlist. So if you're interested, just get in touch with us. You can click the link in the description here to sign up to the waitlist and get information when we release the Functional Spirituality Retreat to you. And I so look forward to this next step on our journey together. And after retreat, I'm super inspired. So there's a couple of fun podcast episodes coming up in the next few weeks. So if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to the podcast. It means you'll see when the meditations come up as well, which can help increase motivation to do a meditation practice when you get those little reminders. So until next time, have a beautiful day, and I'll chat with you soon. Thank you for tuning in to the Functional Spirituality Podcast. If you enjoyed the show, make sure you subscribe by pressing the plus button on iTunes or the following button on Spotify. This is going to ensure that this resource is available and top of mind when you most need it. So please subscribe now.